So I recently bought a used RTX 3070 that is originally from an Acer pre-built, and the card suffers from really bad thermals and extremely loud fans. While gaming, the card's temps rose to around 90 degrees, and I tried to fix the problem by undervolting and making a custom fan curve, but it still wasn't enough. So I decided to deshroud the card and add 3 Arctic 92mm fans to it. First we're gonna remove the fan shroud. This is done by removing 4 little screws on the sides of the card. After that, the shroud comes right off and you can unplug the fan header. Next I'm going to remove the heatsink and change the thermal paste. If you're unsure if you can manage this, you could just skip this part and go straight to adding the fans, but changing the old dry paste can do wonders to thermals, so it's at least worth looking into. To remove the heatsink, first remove the 3 screws from the back of the card. Next we're gonna remove the 4 retention screws around the GPU die and the 2 screws at the other end of the card. Now the heatsink should be loose and you can just wiggle it off. Try to be careful here because you don't want to destroy the old thermal pads. Next we're gonna scrape off the old thermal paste. This can be easily done by scraping it with old credit card or something like that. Also be careful when you're scraping the excess thermal paste from around the GPU die, because you don't want to chip off any of these small pins around the GPU die. Next we're gonna add the thermal paste. I'm using the EK Waterblocks Ectotherm. It's pretty much the same stuff as the Arctic MX4, so it's really good thermal paste and cheap as well. You wanna use a bit more thermal paste than you're used to with the CPUs, because unlike the CPU chip, the GPU die actually gets hot throughout the die, so you might get thermal throttling or something like that if you don't cover the whole die. We are done with the thermal paste and we can just put the heatsink back on. Gently place the heatsink on the GPU die, on the right spot, and then just attach the screws back in reverse order. So I'm going to use 3 Arctic F9 Pt.1 PST fans. The fans are extremely cheap and you can daisy chain them, so they are easily managed. Since we're just using 3 fans, one of the fans doesn't need the PST plug, so I'm just gonna clip it off clean from the end of the connector. The only bad thing about the PST connectors is that the connector is at the end of the cable. If the connector were at the base of the fan, you could actually easily just plug in the next fan without this long, really untidy mess. Here's a closer look at the old fans. As you can see, the old fans are 0.4 amps, and this means you can actually easily plug the Arctic fans on the fan header on the card if you have the right adapter. You're gonna need the VGA 4-pin adapter, whatever it's called. It actually has the same pin out as the normal fan header. So if you wanted, you could just cut the old fan header from the card's original stock fans and use that to plug the Arctic fans on the card header. Next we're just gonna zip tie the fans together. This is actually going to make the fan structure pretty solid and it doesn't bend. The zip tie solution is actually proof of concept version, so I'm gonna print a shroud for the fans later on and share the 3D model with you. Then we're pretty much done and we can start benching the card. See what kind of thermals we're getting now.